Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. This Shabbat, something remarkable is going to happen in every synagogue around the world. You see, there are many great biblical personalities: Adam, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Moses. And not one of them does the Torah tell us the date of their passing. There's only one exception, and that's in this week's Torah portion. When it comes to the passing of Aaron the high priest, the Torah tells us in this week's Torah portion that Aaron died at Har Havarim on the first day of the month of Av, the 5th month of the year. And what's so fascinating is that this Shabbat is Rosh Chodesh Av, the first day of Av, the day that Aaron passes. So in synagogues around the world, on the day of the passing of Aaron, we're going to read in the Torah about his passing. And the question is twofold. First of all, why doesn't the Torah tell us the dates of any other person that passed away? Why only Aaron? And second of all, Aaron passed away 4 weeks ago in the Torah portion of Chukat. Yet the Torah waits for this week to tell us about his passing, to make it coincide with the first day of Av, so we'll read about his passing on the day he passed. Why is that? What is the message? Now, rabbis tell us that Aaron was the most beloved figure amongst the Jewish people. As a matter of fact, the rabbis say that when Aaron passed, the Jewish people mourned his passing even more than the passing of Moses. Even though his older brother Moses was a greater leader, but Aaron was more beloved. Why? Because he was a man of kindness. And therefore, men, women, everyone loved him equally. He was a man of loving peace. And therefore, on the first day of Av, when the entire Jewish nation begins the 9 days of mourning for the destruction of the temple, we read about his passing. And the Torah times it for the day of his passing and tells us it was on the first day of Av, because symbolically it's a message that he was so beloved that when he died, not only did all the Jewish people mourn his passing at the time, but until today, when the Jewish nation begins their 9 days of mourning, the saddest 9 days on the calendar leading to Tisha B'Av, we all mourn collectively for Aaron, reminding us the greatness of Aaron, being a Ish HaChesed, a man of kindness and a man of peace. There was an amazing woman who lived in the Crown Heights community. Her name was Tybal Lipsker. She died in 2008 at the age of 94 years old. And she had survived Soviet Russia. She was a matriarch of a very beautiful, large family. And she came to New York, and she was very depressed. She had gone through a lot of struggles, and she was once at an audience, Yechidut, with Lubavitch Rebbe, and told the Rebbe that she was depressed. She experienced sadness. And the Rebbe said to her, "This is what I want you to do. In our community in Crown Heights," the Rebbe said, "there are weddings every night. Some are large weddings, some are small weddings. Some don't have a lot of participants, people who are new to the community. And you should go to every wedding and dance for the bride and make the bride happy." It happened to be, the Rebbe must have known that she was a very energetic person and knew how to dance very well. And that's what she started doing. Whether she was invited or not, she would show up at every wedding in Crown Heights and dance before the bride. And when people saw this woman in her 50s and 60s on the dance floor with all her moves, dancing with so much joy, that would get everyone else to dance with her and bring a lot of joy to the bride. And she was known, Tybal Lipsker, she comes to all the weddings and she dances and dances and dances like a young girl. And of course this brought great joy to her, just like the Rebbe had advised. Well, she was 94 years old, and one of her great-grandchildren was getting married in Crown Heights at 770 Eastern Parkway. And shortly after the chuppah, she suffered a heart attack, and she had to be rushed to the local Kings County hospital. Some of the members of the family went along with the ambulance to be with her. And throughout the wedding, the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren were checking in to see how Bubby was doing. And then, at the end of the wedding, they heard things had taken a turn for the worse. She was in the ICU. And so the entire family from the wedding hall, with their gowns and suits, went running to the emergency room. And they filled her ICU room around her bed. And they were all standing there dressed like for a wedding. People who walked by didn't know what they were looking at. It didn't look like a hospital, it looked like a wedding hall. And they stood around her bed, her entire family of children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And they started to sing all the wedding songs that she would dance to each and every night for decades and decades. And with her family singing around her bed, dressed for a wedding, her soul left this world at the age of 94. And she left this world the way she lived her life, filled with love, filled with providing joy for others, with music, with singing, dressed in their finery. And this is the message of Aaron the high priest. We remember him on the first day of Av for the person he was, the way he lived his life, with loving kindness, reminding us as we begin the 9 days that we should emulate, as it says in Pirkei Avot, the way. And if we emulate the ways of Aaron the high priest, we will merit the rebuilding of our holy temple. Have a wonderful day.